Road on the west side of El Paso. We hold services on Wednesday evenings at 7 and on Sunday mornings at 9 and 11. If you are without a church home, we would love to have you join us for worship and Bible study. You can find out more information about us on the web at www.ccsuncity.org.
915.
Testify.
I actually wasn't giving all praise and honor to God or Jesus Christ, but little by little I started seeing things that were just not right. And it was by listening to your radio station. The Bible is what made me realize I was a bad and evil person. I was wicked. I would like to tell you how I came upon this station. I used to work for a concrete company, and we were working on 24-hour shifts, and my truck was assigned to somebody at night. So when I came in the morning, they changed all my stations. And so I had my stations already programmed. So I was changing it, and I came upon KLP. I left it there because they called me into dispatch to go get my ticket. And when I came back, I just kept listening to it, and from that time, I never changed the radio. I left it on KLP. If I never heard this radio station, who knows, I probably would have still been lost, still living in this darkness.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb
and by the word of their testimony.
desertvoice.media.
We're back. You're listening to 915 Talk.
We are back, and you are listening to 915 Talk. This is an unusual episode of 915 Talk. It's a two-part series. We were just hearing from the Youth Opera of El Paso. Super fun conversation. They had to run, and I was like, what am I going to do the last 20 minutes, Mac Daddy Del Norte? What are we going to do?
Yeah, we always have fun stuff around here to do, and interesting people to interview. So.
That's right. So we have yet another very special guest.
Yes, definitely.
Do you know why she's special?
Of course, because she is a unique expression of an endlessly creative God.
That is true. She is the unique expression of an endlessly creative God. Also, she's running for the position of El Paso County Judge.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So I believe it's her second time on the program.
That's correct.
Does that sound right?
Yes.
All right. So without further ado, let's give a very warm Borderland welcome to the one, the only Guadalupe Giner. Guadalupe, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, so it's a wild ride running for public office, huh?
Yes, it is. I love every minute of it. I love meeting the people of the community.
Yeah, okay. I get to meet so many people running for office, people in public office. And honestly, from the outside, it does look tiring. But what are you learning while you're out there meeting with folks?
Well, I've always I get energy from the people that I meet. And what I'm learning politically is that people are scared and they're tired and they're feeling really drained. They're afraid of turning on the news because every utility in sight is going up. And, tax rates are going up. And I'm a very positive person. And I believe that I'm here to just bring joy and tell people about what I can do for them, because there is hope. We just need to look at things and do them differently.
Right. I don't want to spend the rest of our time talking about our gas bills from last month and those delivery charges.
Well, you know what? There's plenty there. But no, I agree. I think we need to focus on what we can do.
Right.
What we can do better.
Okay. What can we do better?
Well, I don't know if everyone's familiar with me, but I am Guadalupe Giner. I'm running for El Paso County Judge. This is the second time I run. First time I ran as an independent. This time I'm running as a Republican. I have 20 years experience in the private sector and 20 years on the board of one of the largest local financial institutions. And I want to bring my private sector experience and apply it to the county. And so what we need to do better or different is the fact that when you work for the private sector, it is not acceptable to be short on your budget, which the county was short $55 million going into the 2026 budget, and they couldn't cover it, so they passed that on as a form of a tax rate increase to the county people of El Paso. And so that was about a $135 increase per year, and that was simply a budgeting mistake, or I'm not sure why but to find out right when you're doing the budget for the next year that you're short $55 million tells me that there's a lack of understanding of how a budget works, which is my specialty. I did purchasing and planning, and in that role, I did lots of budgeting for a $150 million portfolio, and we had to forecast, and so that's kind of like my cup of tea. So when I go into the county, there's a couple of things we can do. Number one is we need to be transparent. We need to, especially with the budgeting portion of it, we need to be more astute about what we're doing, and we need to start clean. So there's something called zero budgeting, and zero budgeting I want to apply for some of those departments that are the higher budget departments. And what that is if right now what they do is they take the current budget and they tweak it, and zero-based budgeting says start at zero and put in what you need, and let's make sure that we justify every single tax dollar that the taxpayer pays, because we don't want anything in there. We want to make sure that every single dollar is for the taxpayer and what it was intended to pay for. I mean, we can't just have things in there that the taxpayer hasn't agreed to pay for, in other words. So that's called zero-based budgeting. Another thing I want to look at is, the county commissioners say that 50% of the budget is unfunded tax mandates from the state. What that means is that the state tells the county, you need to implement this, but they don't attach money to it. And so 50% of the county budget, supposedly, is for these unfunded mandates. And I think to myself, okay, well, if your budget is $600 million and 50% of that budget is unfunded mandates, I would be with Governor Abbott, and I'd be like, we need this money back, because that money is taken out of the county taxpayers' purses. And so what I want to do is I want to get together with other county judges, and I want to go to the governor and say, Governor, we need help. I mean, we're drowning in tax debt. We need you to fund those mandates. And if they were to fund those mandates, even half of those, Andy, that would be $150 million.
Okay, so that's something I've never heard about before.
Yes, it's big.
So it's you're saying that potentially we, as the county of El Paso, have money that we could get from the state. I mean,
Yes.
I'm trying to put it in the most simple
Very
terms.
good. Yes, it's money that the state is forcing us to spend out of our own local budget to pay for state, I'm going to say laws or things like that. And so they pass a law, but they don't pass the money to pay for the implementation of the law.
Oh, okay.
see
So
what I mean?
what would an example of that be?
Well, the one that always comes up is the Lone Star, Operation Lone Star, which has to do with the border.
Okay.
And I don't understand that too well, but I understand that for a long, long time we were housing a lot of the federal inmates, and the federal government pays quite well for those federal inmates. And when the border became secure, a lot of that funding went away. And we still have to house a lot of these inmates that are caught due to Operation Lone Star, and the county is having to fund that. And so the money isn't there to run this operation, but the county has no choice but to participate in Operation Lone Star.
Okay. All right. So we're required to help out with border security.
Yes.
But we should get some help financially. is what
Yes,
you're
exactly.
saying. Okay.
And so if it's 53% is the last number I saw, then you know what? That's 53% of the county budget, which is $600 million.
Okay. All right. If you're just joining us, we're with Guadalupe Jenner. She's running for El Paso County Judge. I think the economy is in the forefront of everyone's minds
Yes.
with the cost of taxes. Of course, we mentioned utilities. That was something that came up in my home yesterday
Yes.
evening. We were scratching our heads looking at some of the line
Unbelievable.
items on the bills.
Yes.
We do need to take a quick break.
Yes.
Before we go into the break, or after we get back from the break, I want to talk about do we need to increase income or cut costs? Which of those? So we'll talk about that after the
Sounds
break.
like a plan.
Yeah. And before we go into the break, this is the part of the program where KELP Radio would like to thank all of our impact partners. The impact partners are local businesses, churches, nonprofits, educational institutions that have joined us in our journey to serve our community through radio ministry. The one I want to point out today is called Black Fridays. I think a lot of people know that store. It's around town. It's the store of falling prices, and each day, starting on Friday, the price goes down throughout the week, and you can find so many useful items for your home. I always enjoy visiting Black Fridays on Friday at $16.99, Saturday $9.99. Goes all the way down to $1.29 on Wednesday. 4 locations around El Paso. If you've driven by and never gone in, just stop by, check it out. They're helping us out at KELP, and a little way to thank them is going in and see what they're doing, and maybe if they have something that would be useful around the house. So thank you. Shout out to Black Fridays, and if you own or run a business in El Paso and would be interested in learning what it means to become a KELP Impact Partner, just reach out to us via the site kelpradio.com and walk you through that process and potential partnership. We're going to go into a break. Do not touch that dial.
We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
915 Talk is listener supported and is a production of Desert Voice Media. That's right. It's people just like you who make this program possible. Together with Desert Voice, you can learn how to better serve our neighbors and pray for our community. To become a Desert Voice Media partner, you can visit desertvoice.media. That's right. That's the website, desertvoice.media. Take a look and join us today in reaching our borderland for Christ.
Greetings, KELP listeners. My name is Terry Gray, and I have the joy and privilege of serving as the pastor of Calvary Chapel Sun City, located on the west side of El Paso. I also have the joy of connecting with the radio audience in the borderland through the Summons broadcast heard each weekday at 5 p.m. right here on this station. On Summons, we study the Bible book by book, chapter by chapter, verse by verse, precept by precept. Please join us each weekday at 5 p.m. for Summons right here on KELP.
We're back. You're listening to 915 Talk.
We are back, and you are listening to 915 Talk. I'm your host, Andy Frecka. Today we have Guadalupe Hiner with us in the studio. She's running for El Paso County Judge. We're talking economy, and before we went into the break, I brought up the question, do we need to cut costs? Do we need to increase income? What's the plan?
Well, I mean, there's limitations to what the county judge is allowed to do. But one of those things is we do need to cut tax rates. And we need to bring more jobs to El Paso. And the traditional answer is we need to attract more large companies to El Paso. But the fact is they're not coming. They're not coming. Okay. And I think a lot of that has to be in El Paso County, although the county has done a decent job of keeping those tax rates at least the same, if not decreasing. But the city of El Paso is another story. And so I think that they have to see that we are serious about managing our budgets, both in the county and the city, before we're going to attract anyone. Because we have the workforce, and we have wonderful people here that want to work hard. So I think what we need to do is start looking at something different, and that is to help our small businesses grow. And how do we do that? You know, when we attract or say that we're going to attract a large company, we always offer them these huge tax abatements for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And a tax abatement is when we say you don't have to pay property taxes for a certain amount of time in exchange for hiring certain people.
I'd like a tax abatement.
So would I. But I would like to see if we can do that for our small businesses that are already here in El Paso that want to expand. And we can look at that. I mean, I know it's money, it's tax money that we're not collecting anyway. If they're going to expand, maybe we give them a year. It takes about 3 years for a small business to be established. I would like to take a look at that, and in exchange they can do an internship, offer to people. We need to start training these kids that are coming out of college, because my goal is to make sure that I create enough economic development so that the kids that are graduating from UTEP and EPCC don't have to leave El Paso County. They can stay here. Mm-hmm. And so I have that idea. I would like to really grow our small businesses. And yes, we have to attract the larger companies, but we have to get our house in order. And then we need to go, these things that President Trump is doing, whether you like him or not, a lot of these companies are reshoring back to the United States of America. I just read where the first aluminum plant is coming back to the USA. We have chips that are being manufactured, computer chips in Arizona. We need to get in on some of that. We need to have people that are very knowledgeable, that are very involved. We have 3 economic development departments. We have one for the city, we have one for the county, and Socorro, the city of Socorro has one, and they're all very well run. Let's work together. Now, there is a Borderplex Alliance, and they are regional. So they look at Las Cruces area, our El Paso County area, and Juarez. And the fact is that, if people are looking and they're looking for the cheapest place to come to, we may not be the most competitive. But we have other things we can compete with. We have wonderful, hardworking people. We have lots of youth that are getting ready to graduate. And we have wonderful weather and beautiful mountains. And so I believe that we are the destination. We just need to sell ourselves, and we need to be out there. And everywhere there's going to be any kind of economic development council, we need to have a very experienced, polished team to go out there and sell our county.
Okay. All right. So do we need to talk I-10 deck plaza, data centers?
Yeah, all of those are right in my wheelhouse. I'll tell you. So Deck Park, no, is a no for me. I think it's a great idea, but I don't want the taxpayer to pay for it. And the county has already invested $1 million, set aside $1 million for that, and I don't agree with that. That is not something that we need, and there's so many other things that $1 million downtown. For downtown, well, the whole park costs $400 million. How many parks could we get inside of all of El Paso County instead of putting just one in downtown? And so I don't mind it. I think it's a great idea. I think somebody else should pay for it, not the taxpayer.
Okay. And we have the primaries happening right now. You're running against Minerva.
Yes.
She's also been on this program, Minerva Torres Shelton.
Yes.
What would you say the difference is between you and Minerva?
Well, a lot of people, because of the title, it's county judge, a lot of people believe that it's a judicial position, and it is not. It has nothing to do with judicial, law enforcement, or anything like that. Minerva was a great candidate for sheriff. But however, her skill set does not apply to the county judge position, which is the CEO of the county. I am the only candidate in the primary, or even with against the current city and county judge, that has a financial background. I have purchasing, planning, budgeting. I know how to read those financial statements and interpret them. And so the main difference is I believe I am the most qualified candidate for this position.
Okay. And when it comes to the primaries, what is your appeal to folks to get out there and actually vote? It's not the presidential election that everyone gets excited about.
Yes.
So why should we get out there and make the effort? I mean, it takes a whole 5 minutes.
I know, Andy, and there's no line, so no matter where you go. And then they make it so easy because there's places to vote all over the county. However, a lot of people don't understand what the primary is. In a lot of ways, the primary is more important than the general election, because this is where Democrats and Republicans get to pick who's going to represent them in the November election. And if you don't vote in the primary, then you may let the least qualified candidate move forward in your party, and that person may not win the general election. So it's important to not just find someone that's qualified, but someone that's able to articulate the message of the party. And in this case, it's that smaller government, lower taxes, efficient government, and just someone that knows how to read and interpret those financial statements to make sure that our budget is transparent, well done, and that we're prepared not just right now, but going into the future.
What is your dream for El Paso County? How could it look different 10 years from now than the way it looks right now?
My dream for El Paso County is that it is a place where it's flourishing with jobs and economic development, where taxes are low, where the government is a model for the rest of the country with lower taxes, efficient government services, and things that people can come to and feel confident that their county judge government entity is well run. And I don't think we have that right now. I think people believe that there's a lot of inefficiencies, fraud, and waste. I don't know for sure, but I certainly will go in there. And one of the first goals I have in my first term, and I hope I would get a second where I'd win, but in the first 2 years, I would like a tax rate decrease to the people of El Paso County, even if it's a small one, because that would show that we're serious and we're making progress.
Okay. All right. And we have 1 minute left.
Yes. Go, Andy.
Yeah.
Hit me with a hard question.
No, just tell us why we should vote for you.
I am a lifelong El Pasoan. I'm running because I want to be a servant to the people. You know, in the Bible, people that are elected, we need to pray for our elected officials. I do pray for El Paso County Judge Samaniego. However, I am the most qualified. I am running because I want to be a servant of the people. I've been that in the community for many, many years, and this is just an extension of that. And if you want someone that's qualified, that person is me.
Guadalupe, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me, Andy.
Yeah, so much fun to learn a little bit more about what's going on in our county. And just to our listeners, make the time to swing by one of those early what do we call it? Election stations, polling stations?
It's early voting.
Early voting.
Early voting.
Yeah. They're all over town. And like you said, it's no lines right now. Let's get out there and be a part of what's going on.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
As we always say, let's learn to love our city. I'll add, let's learn to love our county, love our neighbors, and give God all the glory.
Amen.
This has been 915 Talk. You have been listening to 915 Talk, a production of Desert Voice Media. To listen to this or any previous edition of 915 Talk, just visit desertvoice.media and click on the 915 Talk link. Let's continue to learn to love our city, love our neighbors,